Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Home Rich Studio. For today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 easy and affordable patriotic crafts or decor pieces. So let's waste no time and get this party started. Here's the first piece. This is a wall hanger. And if you make it, here's what you'll need. I believe I bought this from Walmart. It's kind of like a wooden banner. It was like $1, $1.50, something like this. The napkins I got from Dollar General. I believe the stars were from Dollar General. This beaded garland was from Dollar Tree, and I have some Mod Podge. I also have some antique Waverly wax and some white chalk paint from Waverly. So I'm going to remove the hanger, and I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge all over this, making sure that I get the edges really well also. And then I take my blow dryer and dry it. Now I take the napkin, I unfold it, and I was going to check how many plies. That went kind of fast, but there were 2 plies, so I know I only needed to remove 1 piece here. And I took a little piece of tape, as you saw there, and I just put it on the end and pulled it apart very carefully. I'm pointing at the edge there. The edge is white, and I really don't want that on this banner here. So I kind of move the napkin over, and then now I'm just cutting off the extra napkin here. It just makes it easier. And I take some parchment paper and I kind of hold it onto the napkin so the napkin doesn't move until I can get that stuck down with my little heat press here. The heat press I got, my daughter gave it to me, I think a year or 2 ago. I use this all the time. It was from Walmart. It was like $10 or something. So I just went around that really well, and what that does is it reactivates the Mod Podge after the Mod Podge is dry, and it almost like it presses the napkin or glues the napkin right into the wood piece. And then I am just taking a nail file. You can have any kind of sanding block, nail file, whatever you choose, and I'm just filing off the extra pieces here. And now I have these little stars here. They're 3 or 4 different sizes, and I picked the ones that match the napkin, and I'm just going to scatter a few around, not all of them. I just wanted a couple of them to kind of pop. And now I have a black marker, and I'm removing the stars and putting a little dot in the middle so I know where I put each star, because we're going to paint them. And I'm just taking some tape here, and I'm just going to roll it so it's sticky on top and the bottom, and I put the stars on here. It makes it really easy to paint these, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat of white chalk paint. Now you can kind of see the wood through the napkin on the little banner piece here. If you don't want that color, you can go ahead and paint it whatever color you want. You could paint it white. I antiqued mine, so I just left it that way. But that's something to keep in mind when you are crafting with the napkins. You'll see right through the napkin, so whatever color you're putting the napkin on, if you want that to change, you'll have to paint the underneath that. And now after I'm done painting, I just put the stars back on. I hot glued them, and now I'm just going to distress this whole thing, including the stars and the edges. And now I have this beaded garland, and I'm going to cut the end off because I want the tassel kind of hanging with a few beads. I think there's like 5 there. And I took that extra rope, I left it longer so I could just hot glue it in the back. And I just had this ribbon here, and I just took a little piece and glued it over the rope. And that will just give it a little bit extra hold there. Now I'm going to put the hanger, the jute, right back in here. And I had to put some tape around it to get it back through that little hole there. And now I'm just going to make a double knot here on both ends so it doesn't pull through. And I'm going to take this same ribbon that I put on the back there to hold the rope down. And I made a shoelace bow, and then now I have this little, I don't know, I think it came with a foam flag on it from the Dollar Tree, but I had that plastic piece and I just wanted the ribbon off of it. I save all little things like that. And I just wanted, I don't know, I just wanted it to be a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, like a little bit more celebratory. So I put some shiny ribbon on here. And that's what this looks like. And I'm really happy the way this piece turned out. It was really easy, very budget friendly, and basically I had all this in my stash. Oh, except for the stars. I do believe I had the stars, but I believe I bought them this year from Dollar General. Yeah. Okay, number 2. And this is quick and easy also, but I love this piece, probably my favorite one. Let me know which one your favorite one is out of all 3 of them. I asked my mom, I showed her pictures, and she liked the last one the best. So anyway, here's what you need. I have the wood round. I have the window stickers from the Dollar Tree. I have this, I think it's an infinity scarf. I've had this, and I don't know, you can customize this because they have all kinds of scarves at the Dollar Tree, but I have that piece. I really liked it. I have the star, and I have Waverly chalk paint in the color white and truffle, and some E6000. So again, I'm just removing the hanger, and I'm going to save it. And now I just take the truffle chalk paint, and I'm just painting it all over here. Just one good coat. And then I dry it, and now I'm going to distress it with white. That's why I only put one coat on it, because I'm going to distress it. So I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste my chalk paint. So when I distress things, it's only one good coat. And then I'm going from the top to the bottom, and then the bottom to the top. And, you know, like I always say in all my videos, I love distressing pieces. I just get such satisfaction out of it. I really, really do. I enjoy this. And I have kind of a heavy hand when it comes to distressing things. But I like that look. And then now I'm going around the edges as well. And then I'm making sure that the holes to hang this are on the top. And I'm putting this around the side. And I did this because I don't know, I didn't want to cut it all up, but I like the double fabric in the front, but on the back, if you do make this, I would cut off the excess material in the back, because I do end up cutting it off to use it as a hanger, and you'll see in a second here. But I pulled that really tight and then just hot glued it on the back. And now I'm going to scrunch it up in the middle. And I have some jute, and I'm just going to tie a double knot right in the middle there. And so now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to pull it tight on the ends there. just to kind of clean up the edges there. And here's where I cut off the extra material because I do want to make a handle with it. And there's just no rhyme or reason. I just cut off a piece. You can use anything. You could put the jute back in it, but I thought I wanted to do something a little different. So I just took this and I kind of rolled it up, and I did have to put tape on the ends because it's material. It was harder to get through that little tiny hole. So I just put the tape on the ends and then pulled it through. And I had to use my little needle nose pliers there to pull it through. And then now I'm just going to double knot it on both ends. And then cut off the extra material there. Now I have the star. I want the tassel left on the bottom, but I cut the jute with the beads up. I cut that off on top, and then I had to clean up the back because there was a lot of jute on it, stapled on it. So I had to kind of clean that up a little bit because you could see it through the back, the top of the star. Now I'm going to glue this on, but it doesn't lay flat. So I have a couple little cubes here. You get a pack of these from the Dollar Tree. You can use Jenga blocks. I just had to give it some lift somehow. And I like the cubes because they're smaller and you don't see them as much through the top of the star. So I put E6000 in hot glue and put the cubes on the back. And then I put E6000 again on the cubes and some more hot glue. And I don't mix them. And why? Because I've noticed that sometimes it cancels out the glue and then it'll pull right off the piece, but also sometimes the fumes are terrible. So I just press that on there. And I love how that tassel is hanging down. It's just something a little bit different. Then I took this window cling that says America on it, or America the Beautiful, I think. And then I put Mod Podge on the back of that and then stuck it down here, and then I'm going to put Mod Podge on the front of it. And I'm just kind of pressing down those ends there. I don't want to put Mod Podge on the whole entire piece. Yes, and I cleaned up my glue so it didn't dry on my mat. Sometimes I get terrible with cleaning the paint off my mat and everything, but I'm trying to do it right away now. And so this is what this looks like, and this is, again, probably my favorite piece. I love, love, love this piece. And here's my third piece and the last. And like I said earlier, this is my mom's favorite piece. I always like to know that kind of stuff. I like to know what's working and what's not working. But I think it's just all a matter of personal preference. So I have this square from the Dollar Tree. I have the star from the Dollar Tree. The napkins are probably from Home Goods or Marshall's. I get almost all of my napkins from those stores. I have the beads from the Dollar Tree. Those two red ones are left over from a previous project. I have antique wax from Waverly and some Mod Podge. And again, I'm just going to remove this hanger. And usually when I remove these, I'm careful because I might use them again. And anyway, a big shout out and a thank you to all of my subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, you can join my Homeridge Studio family by tapping that subscribe button and the bell notification, and you won't miss out on all of my crafty ideas. This is also what helps my channel grow, and I thank you so much. Okay, so I just put a quick coat of Mod Podge on that whole piece there because we're going to do the napkin trick again. And then while that's drying, I am going to antique the star a little bit darker than normal. And now I'm just going to take a piece of parchment paper, or what I thought was parchment paper, and I grabbed wax paper, and I'm doing the napkin trick like I did earlier in this video. And don't use wax paper because it melts the wax, and as I'm showing you, there's some imperfections in here. It melts the wax and it kind of tears the paper a little bit. You really can't see it, but I didn't realize, and I thought it was like the cheap quality of the napkin, but they weren't cheap, so I don't know. But don't use wax paper, use parchment paper. And now I'm just taking the star and I'm putting E6000 on it as well as hot glue. And again, don't mix those. And this board is warped only because I stored it incorrectly, so I have to push that down really hard. You can see it's buckled up. I don't know. Sometimes. And now I'm just hanging, or tying, I should say, this beaded garland onto the back. I'm pulling it through the front, and I made sure I had extra jute popping out there, and then I took the bead and I pulled the jute through the bead. I hope that makes sense. And I did that to both sides. Only that side the jute wasn't long enough because I wanted to see the jute through the bead. And so I just hot glued the garland on. I did tie it in the back, and then I hot glued the bead on there, and then I just took a little bit of jute and I poked it in the hole there and glued it in. I just wanted that look, like I said. And then now I have this word, America. It comes in a pack from Hobby Lobby. There's the 4th of July, fireworks, America, or something. I got them last year. It is navy blue, and I wanted it to be white because the navy blue color, just, you couldn't see it because I'm going to glue it right in the middle of the star. So I put 2 coats of white on there. And then now I'm just taking the antique wax and I'm going to antique this, dirty it up a little bit, going around the whole, the sides of this square. And then I'm putting more on the corners just to make it look more rugged, rustic, I guess. And then I put a little bit on the beads here. And then I don't show you, but I do take the white chalk paint and I distress the star. I didn't want to distress the star, but then it just looked too clean to me, and I wanted this to be like really rustic and kind of more Americana looking. As you can see, I'm distressing the whole piece now. And now I'm going to hot glue this right on there. And I have this gingham ribbon, and this is from the Dollar Tree. I'm making a shoelace bow. Super easy, super simple. I'm going to hot glue it right there on the top and cut the ends off on an angle. And that is it. 3 patriotic decor pieces for your house or for gifts, or you can make these and sell them. And they were very budget friendly, super easy, and I think they all turned out really cute. Again, let me know which one is your favorite one. And with all that being said, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I've inspired you. Remember to like and subscribe, and you know I'll be back real soon. And until then, have a blessed week. Bye.